Hey, Queen, welcome back to Flip the Script, a podcast for spirit led entrepreneurs who are the rule breakers, black sheep, and visionaries who are ready to be the director of their own lives. And the purpose of this podcast is to plant seeds of abundance and to activate you and help you shift into your highest timeline. So the only thing that you need to do is to be willing and decide that you are ready to activate your purpose and live a life that turns you on. So I'm your host, Angie, and I'm your money mindset and business coach. And I'm here to have the deep conversations with you and remind you of your God given gifts so that you can build a conscious business and a life that is rich and purposeful. So today's episode, I'm really excited about this one. It's pretty much going to be like a soul call out. We're going to be talking about why playing small is costing you so much more than you realize, and what it means to be stepping into your next level. Well, like what that actually looks like. So if you're listening to this, it's not by accident. You're definitely here because you're meant to play a bigger game. Those empaths, light workers, or chosen ones, and you know who you are, 144. If you know, you know. Um, for many years, we've dimmed our lights. For many, many years. The reason being is because we didn't probably want to step on other people's toes. We didn't want to trigger others or feel like too much, right? And a lot of times we've learned to play it safe, to make ourselves more digestible. And for some of us, this behavior, right, began in our early childhood, learning from those that are closest to us. And so maybe a parent of yours taught you to stay quiet or to lay low and not make too much of a commotion or a scene. Or maybe you witnessed the other aspect of it, which is like somebody close to you getting hurt, or being punished for taking up space and expressing themselves. And so we all have our own journey, our own experiences that we have gone through in our childhoods. I challenge you to, reflect back, like if you have been playing small lately, where has that behavior been coming from? Did you learn it from somebody close to you? Like, go back and think about your childhood when it comes to expressing yourself, when it comes to speaking your truth, when it comes to being seen. For me, a person that comes up to mind is my mom. My mom, she's an incredible mammographer. And if you don't know what mammography is, it's basically a person that examines a woman's breasts to determine if they have like breast cancer or not. And so literally she would have like patients that would hunt her down. Like they would call the office and literally seek my mom out, to have her be their mammographer. They didn't want nobody else to touch them but her. And obviously that's like an amazing thing to like be so proud of. And you know and she would receive like a lot of awards and like recognition, and she would literally even have hospitals, around the state, like reach out to her and try to recruit her and pay and like tell her like you can name your price and we will pay you whatever it is that you want to have you here. Which like to be recognized in that way is just like, it's like wow, like right, it's like something to be, like I said, super proud of. But the thing is, my mom, she's a very like humble, too humble of a person, and she never really like owned her success. I never really grew up witnessing her like celebrating herself. I never really saw her like really embracing that and like owning it. And in fact, it was always quite the opposite. She always downplayed herself. She always minimized the recognition. She's like, oh yeah, it's not a big deal. And it's like, no, it is a big deal. Like I remember like me and my dad and my brother would get kind of like upset with my mom because she just wouldn't like celebrate herself and like be proud and like really like, absorb that experience that recognition that she was like receiving and stuff like that. And something that she's always struggled with, even till this day. She's still the same, still the same way when it comes to that, you know. And the thing is, like, I picked that up growing up, even though I would get frustrated with her for not celebrating herself and not owning her zone of genius, and like and stepping into into that role. I ended up catching those behaviors and embodying them myself. Like, I definitely have struggled to celebrate me. Like, even when I've had success in my business, I would always make it seem like it's not enough. I would always like downplay it, or I wouldn't even sometimes even talk about the successes that I have had in my business, because I'm like, I could do so much better, or I can do more than that. I never, like, I've always struggled to do that. Thankfully, I have a boyfriend who knows about this struggle, because I've talked to him about it, and he does help me, like, remind me, like, Angie, like, this is badass, like what you're doing, like what you've accomplished, like this deserves to be celebrated. And he reminds me constantly of, it's not just about celebrating the big wins, but it's about celebrating yourself in every moment, every step that you have taken on your journey. It's important to recognize that, to acknowledge that. And so, because I am aware of this, the difference between me and my mom is that, you know she may not have had like the knowledge to overcome that, for herself. But because I am aware and I see the pattern that I have, and I see that I'm like, okay, I got this from my mom. I understand now why I struggle to like speak, in front of people, or especially in the past. And even now, like, I'll have my moments of like, if I want to go live and I want to be seen, or if I want to, network with people, like, I can be very much of an introvert. And if you've heard some of my older episodes, I talked about how I used to literally identify as being shy. And I would hide behind that label like all the time. Like, oh, I'm just too shy to do X, Y, and Z. Oh, I'm just too shy. Like this, like I would like literally be like that. This is my identity. Like this is how I was born. There's no way to fix this. Like this is just what I am. But then I realized over time, as I've experienced life and have gone through my own growth, that that's not the case. I am not. I am like I can, maybe I am shy, but it doesn't mean that that's who I am. I can overcome that, and you overcome it by doing the things that make you uncomfortable, and that's how you gain the confidence. That's how you start to embody that new version of yourself, right? And so I have started, and it's been a journey, because it's something that's been deeply, I mean, the fact that my mom still struggles with something like this till this very day, even to just buy herself things to celebrate herself, and to yeah, to like just embrace herself more. The fact that she still struggles with it is something that's deeply embedded in my bloodline, right? And the woman in my family. And so here I am, aware of that pattern. And so it's my responsibility now that I'm an adult and I can make decisions for myself. I It's up to me if I want to rewrite that story or continue playing that role of downplaying. And so I've been on this journey for probably 10 years, because it's really like a self-love journey for myself. That, of reminding of myself that I am safe to shine, that I'm safe to be seen, that I'm safe to be powerful. That I am talented, I am gifted, and I am full of greatness, and that deserves to be seen by whomever like crosses paths with me, right? And that that I am safe to take up space wherever I am. Like I don't have to minimize myself. And so, and it's about also reminding myself that like there is nothing holy about shrinking myself to protect other people's comfort zones. Like honestly, like I have learned over time to set boundaries and to speak my truth, and that my truth is valid, and that if my light and my truth triggers somebody on my journey, then good, because then that's me accomplishing my own divine assignments, right? Because I'm stepping into my purpose, I'm stepping into my zone of genius, I'm owning who I truly am, and I'm planting a seed in other people that have gotten triggered by that. And it's not my job to, manage their emotions. It's not my job to help them through that. Like, it's up to them to be aware and to grow from that. And they have two choices. It's either they grow and they try to figure out for themselves why they're triggered, or they continue on doing the same pattern over and over again. And so, like I said, when it comes to playing small, a lot of times it's because we learn that behavior from our family, from the people that raised us. Because in the first like young years of your life, you're learning how to be in this world. And so you're learning how you're literally observing everything. You may not understand everything, so you may not like learn to analyze and break down certain things that are happening in the right way. So you may not interpret it in the right way and during that time. And that's why as an adult, it's up to you to deconstruct that and reparent yourself so that you can rewrite a new story for yourself. But when it comes to playing small, it's not humble, and it isn't from God. It's actually costing you a lot in your life, and you're actually operating in the frequency of lack, in in a frequency of fear, in a frequency of worry, and that is not of God. When you dilute yourself, when you dilute your message, when you dilute the way that you show up in the world, this is how you end up repelling clients, repelling opportunities, repelling money in your life. Because you're sending this confusing signal out to the universe. Like, you're praying that you want success. Like, oh, I want all this success. I want all this money. I want all these opportunities. But your energy and your actual thoughts, that you're emitting constantly is like, actually, like that would be nice, but I would rather not be seen. I would rather not be visible. Like I want the clients, but then I'd rather it not work out because I kind of like don't want to like step outside my comfort zone. Right. So you're sending out all these mixed signals. And so if you have been frustrated in your life, if you have been frustrated in your business, then you got to take a step back and really ask yourself, like, what is the energy that you're actually emitting? What is the frequency that you're actually putting out there? Because what you're saying is not matching the actions that you're taking, right? Actions will always speak louder than words. I always say that. Actions will always speak louder than words. So you got to ask yourself, what you're saying, is it matching how you're behaving? Is there a match or not? And that's how you're going to be able to see, like, if you're if you're kind of lying to yourself, right? And the areas that you need to work on to bridge that gap so that those opportunities and clients and money can come into your life. What is it really costing you? Like I said, it's costing you your income. When you're unclear, when you're shy, when you're censoring yourself, it's hard for people to trust you. It's hard for clients to come to you and trust you because they're like, I don't really know where their stance is on things. It's harder to attract those aligned buyers because you're not showing up boldly or with certainty. You're just wishy-washy. How is this costing you? It's costing you your visibility because like the algorithm can't amplify what's hiding. In order for you to be seen, you gotta show up. You got to show up. You got to put yourself out there. Like you can't expect to just not to just be hidden and then just pray or do these manifestation rituals and expect things to just come. Like there's an action that you do have to take. It's like having faith but no action. No, it's faith with action. It's like you do it anyways. Even if the fear comes up, even if the doubt comes up, how do you minimize those things? By taking the action, by doing the thing that freaks you out. That's how you start to diminish it and you start to show up and you're like, no, the fear could be there, but you're nothing to me. Like I'm gonna still show up anyways as my authentic self. But by you dimming yourself, you're minimizing your authenticity. You're not showing up authentically in the world. It's costing you your confidence. Because what did I say? In order to no longer be shy, in order to be more confident, people want confidence, right? But it's not like you just get confidence. Like in order to get confidence, you have to become confident now. Now, when I say confidence, doesn't mean that you have to show up as this perfect person. No, show up as your authentic self, even if you're trembling, even if you're a little nervous, even if like whatever, but show up real, and you're going to get better over time. And you have to accept that things are not always going to be perfect, and that in order to be even more confident over time is by doing it when you're not, doing it when you don't feel like it, doing it when you feel like, I don't know if I'm enough, and reminding yourself that you are. Because when you minimize yourself, you're actually building distrust with yourself. You're telling yourself that you don't trust yourself. And so, how can others trust you? You end up betraying yourself by minimizing your gifts, your voice, your medicine. And then you stay in this cycle of feeling stuck and burnt out and unseen. And then you feel like you start to ask yourself, like, I don't understand why people don't see me, but it's because you're not seeing yourself. You got to see yourself first. You got to validate yourself first. Because living a life where you're diluting yourself and to be digestible to other people is exhausting. Like, what kind of life is that, right? It drains you because you're constantly like pretending to be something that you're not. And like your soul is just like, oh my gosh, I just want to be myself. I just want to be myself so badly. And that's why sometimes we may struggle a lot in working a 9 to 5. If you're listening to this podcast, like for me, like that's something that I have struggled since I started becoming more aware. Because I used to hide behind a 9 to 5. I was like okay with it at a point in time, and then until I wasn't, and I was like, "Ooh, it's exhausting not being myself." It's exhausting having to put this mask on to just for a job. And this is why a lot of us go on this entrepreneurial journey, because this is where we can start to actually feel more like ourselves, right? And then we get excited, but then we hold ourselves back. And when you hold yourself back by not doing the things that you know you need to do to step into your purpose, the problem is when you dim your light and when you minimize yourself, you are obviously, you're always emitting a frequency all the time. You have to understand that you are energy, right? And so you got to understand that by doing that, you're hurting yourself at the end of the day. You're always hurting yourself because you end up then emitting the wrong frequency, and you end up attracting and surrounding yourself with the wrong people. And like I said, you end up performing to be accepted, and then you also end up just walking on eggshells because you don't know if you could really be yourself, if that's too much, if all these things. When you dim you light, when you dim your light, you know, you, like I said, you hurt yourself. So you're doing a disservice by withholding your true identity, by withholding the real you back. I'm here to call you out. I'm here to call your soul out. Like, this is, if you're listening to this, this is your time. You know, we need you. The world needs you. You have a tribe of people that need you, that are waiting, praying. Like, you are someone's answered prayers. Think about that. When you decide to not shine your light, and when I say shine your light, I want you to understand that it's not about being cocky. Like, that's a totally different energy. It's not about operating in the energy of like, I'm better than you. Like, no, this is not the energy of competition. We don't compete. We don't compete here. God is not about competition because we all have a space in this world. We all have a purpose in this world. We all have a divine assignment. And it's up to us on our journey of life to activate that or not, to dive deeper, to get curious enough or not, to get curious enough or not. You have to understand that being, you know, the black sheep, the chosen one, the rebel soul, you got to understand like you were never meant to fit in. So stop trying to fit in because that was not God's assignment for you. I want to say that again. You were never meant to fit in. So stop trying to fit in because that is not what God's assignment was for you. You were born to disrupt. You were born to inspire. You were born to activate those around you. It all starts with stepping out of this box that you've put yourself in. You got to get out of the comfort zone. The comfort zone is like the dying zone. If you're not growing, you're deteriorating. Think about that. If you're not growing, if you're not expanding, if you're not getting a little bit uncomfortable, like you're deteriorating. You're not truly living life. You're just cruising by. Like it's time to shine your God given talent. You're being called. If you're listening to this right now, it's because you are being called to shine. You're being called to use your voice, to express yourself, to truly like be a full expression. People need to feel your essence. You're meant to touch many people, but you won't be able to if you hide. If you hide behind the screen. You know, on my journey when it comes to building my confidence and embracing who I am, I'm really grateful for like the rave community for that. Like I'm a raver. I go to festivals. I love techno. I mean, trance is my first love. I'm gonna put that out there. Trance is my first love because I love just the emotions. It just, every time I listen to trance, it connects me to God. That's how I always feel every time I listen to trance. But when I first experienced the rave community, like it was really one of the first places that I experienced like self acceptance, like seeing just a group of people wear whatever they wanted to wear, be however they wanted to be. Like, you can be extra, you could be your unique self, whatever that means. And you were celebrated for it. If anything was more, you felt empowered to, like, if you weren't shining your light, if you weren't like expressing yourself in a fun way and allowing your inner child to just like come out and play, like you felt some type of way. You were like, damn, like why am I not able to express myself in this way? Right? You start to look at yourself, and the rave community really, really helped me in the beginning phases of my journey, like 10 years ago. I've been raving since oh my God, since when? Since like 20, like, let me see, 2015, 2014, like 2013-ish. Yeah, like since 2013. And it was back in Florida. Like the rave community over there, oh my God, I love it. I love it out there because that's where, like, for me, in my personal experience, like where true pleasure exists. Um, like, which is peace, love, unity, and respect. Peace, love, unity, and respect. The Arizona rave scene, mm, it's a little different. I don't experience as much plur out here. It's a little bit more clicky, a little bit more ego, a little bit more. Um, it's different out here. It's a different vibe. It's a different vibe. But I still appreciate it because I've had my good moments and stuff and experiences, but it's different. But the moment in my life that I'm talking about is in Florida, in Orlando, experiencing EDC Orlando for the first time ever, experiencing Tiesto like for the first time ever, and really like just putting myself out there and like, wow, it's okay to be myself. Like it's embraced, you know. It's totally different from going to like a hip hop concert, rap concert. It's like two different energies and like frequencies. And yeah, I'm just really grateful for it because that's something that has helped me expand in my journey. And it led, you know, over time has led me to embrace my curly hair because I used to never even like I used to always straighten my hair and bleach it and try to be like the white girls back in the day. Because I didn't really have an example of like fully, like I said, like fully embracing and celebrating yourself and your truth and your authenticity. Like I never really had a full example of that. My mom, she did the best that she could, but I know she has her own wounds that she has not fully healed from. And that's okay. And that's okay. Because I'm okay with going through it. I'm okay with healing through it and being the one to break that chain now. And so, you know, because you are listening to this podcast, you know, like I said, this is your sign. This is your sign. This is your sign that you're meant to shine like a star. You're meant to make a wave here on earth, like really like create a ripple effect, you know, like that's how powerful each and one of us is. Because when we start to step into our purpose, when we start to speak our truth, when we start to speak from our heart and follow those intuitive nudges, those God nudges, and when we stop waiting to feel ready and we do it anyways. Because I want you to remember, like, the whole oh, I need to wait till I feel ready. I need to wait till I have X, Y, and Z. I need to wait till that's all of it. Readiness is an illusion. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie to keep you to justify that you use to justify to stay playing small. It's about being consistent and being obedient to those messages that you receive for yourself because you know what they are. You know what they are. I don't have to tell you. You know what they are. Sometimes those intuitive nudges is not going to be this grand thing. Sometimes it's going to be in the smallest ways. Going to the gym, being feeling that pull to go to like a certain event that you're like, I don't know why, but I can't get this event out of my head because maybe you're supposed to cross paths. Maybe you're going to get some sort of download in that moment. Maybe you're going to connect with a person and that conversation that you have just ignites something in you. You don't know. But that's the beauty of life, right? It's not about knowing every step of the way. It's about dancing with the uncertainty, doing your part, which is being obedient, being disciplined, and following those nudges, speaking your truth from your heart, not from your mind, from your heart. And that's when you start to get all these answers. That's when it starts to happen. When you start to finally be in that full expression of yourself. And it's not about having all the answers, because I know sometimes it can be intimidating, because it happens to me where we compare ourselves to other people, but understand that, like I said before, like we all have a purpose here. We all have a purpose here. We all have a divine assignment placed within each and one of us. We're all important. And it's just about how can you be the best each and every day, right? And that is not about you knowing everything. It's about also allowing God to lead you. He's going to lead the way. God is going to lead the way. God is going to illuminate the path as you take those obedient actions. You got to take those intentional steps. Otherwise, you won't be able to see what's right there in front of you. There's a rise that's happening right now, and I know that you can feel the energy. I know that you can feel the shift, that there's a rise in the feminine that wants to be fully expressed, that wants to be unapologetic, that wants to show up unapologetically. And so it's time to allow that part of yourself to express. And you don't have to go full steam ahead. Take little steps, and those steps, trust me, will add up. Everything always adds up to the bigger picture. So if this message spoke to you, definitely go ahead and share this episode on your Instagram. Tag me at iamangelagomez. I love seeing your guys's posts, or even go ahead and comment in the comment section below and let me know like what landed for you, what really felt like that aha moment for you. I love seeing your guys' feedback. And if you are ready to stop playing small in your business and you're ready to be seen and get paid well for it, then definitely check the show notes, because I'll have my offers are all listed there. I have my signature program called the Magnetic Success Formula. I have some self-paced courses that will activate you right now, that you can literally binge in a weekend. So it's awesome, and help you take action right now, because that's what it's all about. See, the things that I create is not just about throwing a bunch of like knowledge and stuff at you guys. It's about how can you implement this right here and right now, because that's that's the most powerful move right there. It's not so much the knowledge, it's about implementing the knowledge now. So you can start seeing the results in your life like now. And then if you kind of want more of like that one-on-one experience, but at a lower cost, then definitely the brand biz audit is gold. Is gold, because literally my eyes on your business. I'm gonna call you out. I'm gonna give you that Angie real talk. So only if you can handle the realness, you can book a session for that. And just remember that you have a purpose, that you are meant to take up space. You have a spot. There's a spot literally waiting for you to take up space, because you were born to be big. You're born here with a mission. And this is your reminder to start acting like it, start showing up as her. Don't wait to be her. Be her now. Be her now. So until next time, and have a great one.